So, as well this week, you've had some pretty interesting stuff. So, one of the biggest stories for me was that Activision Blizzard have now purchased King. So, if you don't know who King are the developers of Candy Crush, and they also make a ton of Facebook games. And they just spent just over 5 billion, I think, on King.
In 5.9 billion.
5.9 billion, yeah.
That's a lot.
Just over.
More money than most people can feasibly imagine. That's pretty good in some countries, I'm pretty sure.
What could you buy for 5 billion or less?
A lot. A
lot
country.
of figures.
You can probably buy Greece at this point.
Because Microsoft bought Minecraft for 2 billion.
2.5. Yeah.
2.5.
I think Microsoft brought Minecraft for 2.5. Facebook brought Oculus for 2. Disney brought Star Wars for 4. To sort of give some perspective on what 5.9 billion is in comparison to them.
Candy Crush is worth more
Candy
than
Crush
Star
is
Wars.
apparently worth more than the entirety of Star Wars.
Jesus. Freemium games have got a bit mental now, I think. But then again, so in King's defense, so in 2014, King actually turned over 2.2 billion in revenue, and they have 1,400 employees, and as expected, they are the largest Facebook game developer. The CEO, who's called Riccardo Zacconi, he's actually served his role since co-founding the company in 2003, and it's pretty mad that he's actually stayed there for that long. To be fair, they're doing so well now that I know he probably won't leave now, and he's going to continue to run it. The deal's set to be ended by Q2 next year. Activision Blizzard, if you don't know, as you probably know them, they're one of pretty much the most successful game developers and publishers in the world at the moment. They've created pretty iconic games as like World of Warcraft. Like pretty much, probably 80% of the games you talk about are made by Activision or Blizzard. Over the last few years, we have seen a massive rise in freemium and sort of mobile gaming. And I think and with Blizzard being one of those, and Activision being one of those companies that have really sort of hit it out of the park with games coming out and deciding what the trends are. I think it'd be interesting to see. It's interesting to talk about sort of what do you think that this tells us about the gaming market now. So I guess as a consumer, Jack, like what with Activision buying King for so much money, what do you think their thoughts are, and how do you think that's going to impact on what they're going to sort of release in the future? I know they've said King are going to be a bit of a separate entity, so they're still going to keep going, but I guess freemium's here to stay.
Yeah, it is. Whatever you think about it, freemium's happened. League of Legends alone has proved that. Its entire culture has been built off freemium. You see loads of games doing it now, some more successfully than others. But I don't know what they're thinking, honestly. I can't believe that Candy Crush will continue to be popular. Look at Angry Birds. That sort of died off after a while. People are like, it genuinely is just the same game over and over. And I think that they obviously know what they're doing, though, don't they? They're the people who have Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, so they know what makes money. So to me, that just says that they think that the casual market of gaming is going to grow to the point where they can make like a shitload of money off it. And I guess they're right. More mums and daughters and kids who aren't interested in gaming, or people who aren't interested in gaming, have like a phone and they'll get into Candy Crush because their mate told them to. I've played so many stupid games because my friends have told me to.
Yeah.
But then look at Zynga. Like they've had to diversify to stay relevant. Like their Facebook games alone haven't been enough. I think in 2012 they made like a massive loss, and since then they've been making like board games and stuff because they've obviously realised that market alone isn't enough. So I guess Activision sees something that I don't.
I think the important thing there is as well. It is the main thing now is that it is the casual gamer. Freemium markets. People paying 60p for games or getting it. Is becoming. It's probably the quickest growing industry ever, and I think it's generally good for gaming because the more casual gamers we get, the more games and experience we get, the more we're going to see people moving potentially to the bigger titles. Like you mentioned, like from knowing my rough understanding of the game industry, releasing a game and then having to make money on it, and then basically spending all that money into your next game, and then trying to make money on that as a studio to run. It does it is a very difficult business model to get. So if you're a small indie studio, you've got to imagine trying to make hit after hit after hit every time you do it. So I can definitely see, as you mentioned about Rovio and about Zynga, diversifying definitely makes sense. There's with Zynga, like, I mean, I was looking out at King and they've got like 1,100 staff, but like I don't know how they can have that many staff like doing stuff. Like, what the hell? Like, mobile games that take that much to make, they must have so much optimization going in there. And I guess when you've got these addiction machines that are churning millions, that you're gonna like pump as much cash as you can into it.
I think they're like diluting the gaming market to a point, because it's cool if you're making games for casual people, which is fine, but what you see is that the core market of games is starting to be developed for casual people. I mean, games that really, like, remember Contra and like Ghouls and Goblins and stuff. Like, imagine giving that level of difficulty of a game to your average child or like young gamer now. They'd hate it because it'd be too difficult and they're not handheld. And I think that this like kind of Facebook gaming, if it comes as like a separate market, it's fine. What I get scared of is when I see people like Activision Blizzard buying it, is that they're going to bring it into my gaming experience.
I think from like my thing of where they're all going with development of it though, is a lot of it's down to where the market is at the moment. If you look, okay, PC is huge and a lot of people do have PCs that play games. Xbox and PlayStation are pretty big. A lot of people have them. Nearly everyone has a mobile.
Yeah.
Like I've got my grandparents have mobiles, and I've got a 3-year-old sister that knows how a mobile works and can play games on a smartphone. Like, that target demographic is huge. You've targeted everyone effectively at that point. So it's just the market is so huge. You can create these casual games that not necessarily for the hardcore game, but people that want to sit down, play 2 or 3 hours on a big game. But there's a huge market there for people that just want a bit of time killer on the bus, a bit of time killer in the evening, a bit of just casual fun here and there. And you've got this huge market to give it to.
I think as well. Yeah, you're definitely right. I know my parents and my mum addicted to Candy Crush and is constantly playing, and it is like it is a massively untapped market. And if you think where the money is now, I mean, that is where it's going. So reading through their press release that they've released of the reasons why they've decided to do the merger. So King are going to operate as a separate entity, basically. So last year, this is an interesting fact: 150 million users played Activision Blizzard's game for over 12 billion hours.
Jesus.
I wonder what that is in days, but that's mental amount of time.
That's probably more than the length of human existence.
Jesus. They're doing all right. They're doing something right, I guess. They have 474 million monthly active users worldwide for I think that's for Activision Blizzard, and the Candy Crush guys, King, they have 330 million active unique users online. So with them combined, they're actually going to be the largest entertainment network with over 500 million monthly active people playing their stuff. They want to be the most profitable, successful, standalone interactive company in the world, which I think they will do. They want to be the global leader in mobile gaming, which I think they will be. And the boards of Activision Blizzard and King both unanimously approved the decision to do it. And it's going to be done under Irish law because that's where you get the best tax breaks, I imagine.
You'd kind of be silly to turn down, like, from the point of view of the King's directive board, when someone goes 6 billion and you go, nah. Like, you can see why they were probably unanimous. Like, yes. Yeah.
Big bag of money.
You pushed a hard deal there. I mean, we will just be giving it to you for that. But I guess for 6 billion, yes, we can have a merger. There's not a lot that I wouldn't do for 6 billion.
How do you think they came to that valuation? Like, they only turned over 2 billion last year. Like, they think. I think when I've seen mobile markets coming up, a lot of them have been about, and everyone's targeting like Africa and now in the developing nations, because basically they're the next smartphone market. And I know Facebook's strategy at the moment is just like heavily aimed like growing Africa, growing all these developing countries where people are starting to get 3G and internet. But I mean, it has to be based on that, I imagine. But I don't know, where's this $6 billion going to come from?
I imagine they looked at the turnout for this first year or two when Candy Crush was first really big, because I know they're making like millions per day or something.
Yeah.
So I guess what they've hoped for is that they're going to be able to come up with another Candy Crush, which will do the same thing and get their return off of the first few years of that one, rather than off of the back of Candy Crush, what it's doing now.
I think a lot of it is they've brought the name now.
Yeah.
It's all like you put that name on a game. Anyone that was really upset, like anyone that's really obsessed with Candy Crush or any of their sort of the Candy Crush spin-offs. Yeah, we refer to them as spin-offs, but the Candy Crush spin-offs will go, oh, a new Candy Crush game, let's download. Suddenly, you've either brought the product, or even if you played it for a couple of hours, you've just made them so much in ad revenue. And you've got the amount of people that will do that. It's just, you brought a name at that point.
Is there like a market longevity beyond those one-hit titles? Because like I tried to think of the three biggest like mobile games that have come out and like have like been the face of the culture, and it's Farmville, it's Angry Birds, and it's Candy Crush Saga, and they're all by three different people. And I think the point is that are people interested in Candy Crush again endlessly enough for it to be as big as when it first came out? I really doubt it. I think what's going to happen is the next game will be some other random company that's not huge that they just somehow hit upon an idea that just clicks with people, because I think that Zynga did okay with like all their words with friends and stuff, but I just don't know if you can predict a title to hit that well.
I don't know. I think you can, because if you look at Angry Birds, for example, like obviously Angry Birds was one of the biggest games when it came out, and it's still up there, and it's still like releasing. It gets sort of like the Angry Birds Star Wars, the Angry Birds and Space, and it sells all of these very similar games with a new graphical style off of Angry Birds the title. I mean, I know when it first came out and I was enjoying the games, I ended up with Angry Birds 1, 2, Space, Star Wars, just all on my phone, just because it was just like, oh, there's a new Angry Birds game, we'll download that. Play it. I never probably played it for more than 4 or 5 hours, but that's 4 or 5 hours of me giving them ad revenue, me buying the game to begin with or something like that.
But do you play it now?
I don't play it now, I will be honest, but I'm sure there's still millions of people that do.
Yeah, probably.
And I think it will be the same thing, especially with you've got Activision Blizzard's IPs and backings and stuff like that. They can effectively merge the two to target two markets. Okay, I don't know how it will work, but you sort of sit there. I mean, you've got World of Warcraft subscribers. You put one of that in a Candy Crush game, you will probably sell it to some World of Warcraft subscribers. They will probably buy it.
Yeah.
The reason Rovio aren't actually doing that great at the moment, particularly, they've got that. I think they've missed the Angry Birds hype because they've got their own film, which they released a trailer for, which is coming out like next year, I think. And if you watch it, there's a trailer for it. It's because they did everything. They got the merchandise, you got the toys, the T-shirts, you got the film coming out next year, and they've dumped a hell of a lot of money into it. They've recently done a hell of a lot of layoffs at Rovio because they tried to do freemium with their new game, and it just hasn't taken as well as people thought. I think the killer combination of Blizzard, Activision, and King is like, if you look at Blizzard's games history, so they've got World of Warcraft, which is the most successful game of all time. They've got Hearthstone, which people love. They've got StarCraft 2, which people love. Like, these people definitely know how to make basically the most popular games that exist at the moment, and you combine that with King, who are making the world's most popular mobile games. I mean, these guys, like, that team of people you could put together is insane. Like, it's set to fail, surely, because like no one could be that good. No one can make something that's that perfect. But they do have at the moment the perfect storm for making like the next big whatever. And they'll fuck it up. Maybe they won't. But
too much pressure, especially now you've said that.
Yeah.
So, They're going to be watching this and going,
they
"Oh
watch
no,
this, yeah.
Tim's put the pressure on us. We've got to make the perfect game."
Shit, guys, Tim's right. Just give up.
They do
Yeah.
have to make the perfect game though. Like they can do. They're there. There's no one in the world more experienced at this than these people. And,
Like Blizzard, as far as I get, haven't made a bad game,
no.
as far as I can think. Like all the titles I can name off the top of my head, none of them are bad.
I think
And-
Heroes of the Storm is yet to really gain traction, though. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's come out at the same level of quality as like Diablo 3, StarCraft, Hearthstone.
No, but I think all those other games were quite unique, while Heroes of the Storm is very much trying to compete with League.
Well, Diablo 3 to a certain extent, the action RPG had been sort of tried and tested by then. I think Blizzard
True. But it
do
did
quite.
have-
World of Warcraft came out after like all the earlier MMOs.
Yeah, true. I know. Like from Diablo, you probably had all the backing of Diablo 1 and 2, so you had a lot of people buy it on its name previously. World of Warcraft shot off, I think, a lot based on Warcraft 1, 2, and 3.
Definitely.
So that sort of helped do that, whereas Heroes of the Storm doesn't necessarily have that to bounce off. It's kind of like, do I play Heroes of the Storm and play with the Blizzard characters I like, or do I play League of Legends? And I think most people sort of went, we'll just stick with League for the time being and see what happens with Heroes. And then obviously now you've got Overwatch coming out as well.
I just had a Google Heroes of the Storm because I had no idea what it is. But
I did exactly the same thing. I've never even heard of it.
That's Blizzard's MOBA.
Yeah, it's Blizzard's MOBA.
Everyone's got one these days.
But I have a MOBA.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've obviously got Overwatch coming out as well, which looks fantastic.